This is Yerushalmi Terumos. The article goes for her edition. We're right at the top of Lam Gimel Rav, the beginning of the Gemara. Mafresh Miktas Trumas and Maestros, and in the Vilna, we are on Yuches Mav, last line of the page. Mafresh Miktas Trumas and Maestros. And our learning today should be schus for Shuas Army Israel, especially the soldiers and captives in Gaza. So, yesterday we had learned in the Mishnah that somebody takes a little bit of Trumas and Maestros. There's and then you can take further truma on it, and that's we say yesh breira in that respect, but not another place can do a makamacher. Meir says he can do a makamacher, and that's the question is how far breira goes. So Gemara says, it's interesting. Trumas is a header in the article and the Vilna, but not in the Kaminoki. Masnisa. So the mafresh makes us in the Mishnah so that you separate part, you have in mind to separate more. Our Mishnah started with stam. Didn't have any das. Because he arguing. I'm like, no, stomach ifresh with ifresh. By the default assumption is somebody who was mafresh stam and was not mafresh whatever would be normal, I guess, for him, because he knows 140th, 150th, 160th. So that still, his das is like, we assume that when his mafresh stam, his das to be moisiv as much as when we mashlim the shear, which Chachamim gave. Again, there's 140th, 150th, 160th. Ma'avin motzi meno olav, ma'avin motzi meno mokomacher. So the Mishnah had said that you motzi from the same batch more truma, but you can't motzi truma from this batch on another batch. B'shashu motzi meno olav, when he takes from that batch itself on itself, kol hatevel ola biyado. Everything which he gets in his hand is second half Rasha. Is so to be tevel, and so that second half Rasha works to continue being fixing that pile of grain. When he takes from on this from elsewhere, wherever, then we say mizeh olam biyado. He has part of the stuff which is already fixed and part of the tevel. So we can't fix something else, because although we say breira in the same kri, and we say whatever he picks up the second time is la shlama from tevel on the first truma, to do it on elsewhere, it's interesting. It's like the theory of relativity. In other words, relative to itself, it can be considered to be klo tevel. Relative to something else, it has to be seen as miktas tevel, mitzvah miktas mesukon, and therefore it's not going to be able to work. So the Gemara says, kasha. The question is the following situation, interesting situation. Nata chotzimena love. Okay, he took out to me motzi on the batch itself. So we said kol tevel biyado. Everything has tevel. What about now? V'nimach lotzimena mokamacher. Change his mind. I says, oh, you know what? I'm going to use it from another place. Right? So we say that now all of a sudden it became Mizeh Mizeh. Beforehand, it wasn't Mizeh Mizeh. Now it became Mizeh Mizeh. How does it work? It should be the Korah now, complete tevel, and you should be able to take from it on elsewhere. Similarly, not on Motzi Meno Makamacher. You took in order to be Motzi Makamacher. Okay, Mizeh Mizeh Biyado. Fine? We say half tevel, half fixed. You're not going to say love, then you change your mind. Sorry, you're going to take from this what you just picked up completely on the original batch. call tevel all be other. We say now that it reverts to all being tevel, right? Or what's the status now? The Gemara does not resolve this issue. But the Gemara does not resolve the issue. It continues on in the same vein. Okay, so now the Gemara says piches. You initially had in mind to take 1/50th average measure. Okay, then you change your mind. Now you take 1/60th, which is the minimum, so to speak. So piches kol tevel ola biyado. So everything now, everything he takes is tevel, because by definition, when you're start off with 1/50th, and now you decide to go down to 1/60th. So then the entire thing was tevel, and it works. But hosif means hosif if you add it. In other words, you had in mind the second time to take more. In other words, you want to go up from, let's say, 1/50th to 1/40th. You got a problem. Then you have to say, but you're adding on that 1/10. That one, so it's 1/10. It's not 1/10. But everything is between a 40th and a 50th. 40th is between a 50th and a 40th. And 1/50th is how many 200ths? That's 4 200ths, right? And 1/40th is 5 200ths. So the difference between 4 200ths and 5 200ths, part that 1 200th is going to be part tevel and part. I can write this. Is that's going to be part tevel mesukhan. Because you're already masaking it, you're already masaking from 1/50th, you're masaking 5 200ths. And therefore, now you want to go to 4 200ths. You can't do that because it's something that was already matukan. And it's not we can't do it again. So then, okay, that is taken as a given. But now, what about somebody who makes a mistake? What's a mistake? He took off one saw, whatever measure, and then he thought now I have to take off another 2, and you only have to take off another 1. So the second afrasha, he only has to take off 1, and he takes up 2. Designates 2. So Rabbi Amishem Reish Lakish said, Osa Sa'ah Shum Mafresh, that second one that he took off, Osa Sa'chuma Makamacher. He made a chuma elsewhere. That doesn't make a chuma on this. He made a chuma elsewhere. Why? But they have a law Makamacher, can't do a Makamacher. Tipater b'marbe b'chuma. So we're talking about that the case where the Mishnah answers on elsewhere is only by marbe. That in the afrasha rishona, he had in mind to be marbe chuma in the second afrasha. So in that case, if he has in mind to make the second one complete, to make the second one chuma makam, if he changes his mind, has in mind to make a chuma makam acher, then you can't do it because we require him to stay with his first kavanah. We say you can't do it because if he has something else, but for that it'd be tevel and truma, tevel and sukkah can mix together. But Rish Lakish said about a mistake, and mistake means that it's he mistakenly thought that what he's going to do is take off on this batch. He didn't specifically designate it for this batch. He said because he made a mistake. So if you had specifically designated for this batch, then you can't take off for something else. because for somewhere else, we say that it's Truma and Tevel, Truma, Metukan and Tevel together, and you're not going to be able to know the scenario, how much you can take off. But it's kind of a knas to say that, because it was Kulo Tevel till now. And now you want to change your mind. And the Chacham say, nah, we don't let you do that. But if you start off, if you did it by mistake, in other words, he thought I had to take up 2 saw, then they were not going to show you got too amazing. They didn't say that, okay, now that you did it wrong, we're going to say it's Chatzi Teva or Chatzi Mesukan, can't use it elsewhere. No, we're going to let you get away with it. Say the entire thing is Teva, and therefore you can use it on this one and also on another one. Okay, so fine, that makes sense. Nicha b'mar b'truma. Okay, that makes sense if you come to add on to your truma, because truma is flexible. B'maisrus, what about b'maisrus? If you say that by maisrus, they're also mentioned on Mishnah. Now, this really is a question on according to everybody. So Mavish mixes Chumas and Maisrus. Maisrus is a specific shear. Chuma, you can go up, down, all around. There's flexibility, but Maisrus is a specific shear, right? So, according to Rish Lakish, how could possibly add on another saw by mistake and say, oh, it's also considered Meiser? It doesn't work that way, right? It's by definition, it is the Meisers are set, and anything beyond that you can't use for another, but it's null and void. If you're trying to make truma, so truma you can add on, and I guess presumably if you add on truma, so therefore whatever additional truma you add, it's truma, but you use it for mokamach, of course, not necessarily for this one. But if assuming it really does, assuming it's a mistake. But Meiser can't do that. Meiser is a specific amount of Meiser. There's no marba on Meiser. So therefore, how are you going to use it for for a different pile, for the different chiyuv? So Meiser, low time Shimon Lakish Meiser. Shimon Lakish not learn our Mishnah that's talking also about Meiser, because that's a set of Mishnah. And Meiser, his whole idea is not going to take effect. So what are you going to do with this? So Gemara says, interestingly, at the time of Rish Lakish, Rabbi Meir. Rish Lakish really holds like Rabbi Meir in our Mishnah, that you can make a truma makam acher. Motzi makam acher truma samaisrus. Oh, if that's the case, so then it's not, why should it just be betos, right? Right? And that's and the reason is became into Omar, the Omar called Teva Ola Biyado. The Meir says, since we say all Teva Ola Biyado, Bami Motzi Men Olav, Bami Motzi Men Olav Mokom. So in fact, it doesn't make a difference if it's a toast, not a toast. You can always take off Mokom Acher. Okay, so the Rabbanan might make a difference, but then according to Rabbanan, how it worked by Meisers, right? So therefore, you have to say Rish Lakish talking in Rabbi Meir, because Rish Lakish also it's going on Meiser. So my Kedum. So I'm asked, what's the conclusion? In other words, Shenitkan Rubel the Gemara says Shenitkan Rubo Shel Kri. So the Gemara says that if the little that you took off, the first part you took off, you didn't have in mind to fix the majority of the Kri. So as the Kri, after you separate the first half Rosh, it's not Rov Chulin. So then the you could say, okay, the Tanakh Meir Machlek is for the second half, right? What do you do? But if you were masaking Rubo Shokri, so the way to say is in Kavnak Shanika Rubo Shokri, then the Plukta to Rechiska Rabbi Yechanan. It's Machlokes ben Shchim Rechiska Rabbi Yechanan. Oh, actually, okay, so he takes out the words Loni Kan Rubo Shokri. Because Loni Kan Rubo Shokri is okay. So by Nika Rubo Shokri, so then in that case, Machlokes Chizki Rabbi Yechanan. Dit Mar Shlokish B'Shem Chizki Amar Tevel Botel Barov. The Tevel is Botel Barov because you have most of his Chulim B'Tukanim, right? So therefore you can't make a Chum Mokum Acher. The Tevel is Botel Barov to Rov Mesukan. You can't do it. So Reish Lakish, that's Rabbi Yochanan ain't a Tevel Botel Barov. It says the Tevel is not Botel Barov, and therefore you can take off even a Mokum Acher. Now, even if the Masakin Rov Akri, you can still take off because the Stam has to be Mafresh more. You can still take off more on that Kri. That's upcorrect. That's a double portion. The whole question here is whether you can do it on somewhere else, another Kri. And even according to Meir, so Gemara says it's according to Chizka, it's problematic even according to Meir. It says normally you can't do it here because since the majority is Mesukan, what's not Mesukan is both the Barov, you can't use it for somewhere else. But Chizka says no. Well, that's right. Sorry, it says ain't Tevel both the Barov. The Tevel is not both the Barov, so therefore, Meir Chacham still say you can only do it Minei Ubei. But a Meir will say, since the Tevel is not both the Barov, whatever Tevel is left, you can use to be Masakin the other Kri. Okay, that is enough for today because we're ready on Lamadal and was our Sugya.